couldn't hear them real clearly. But there was a lot of us when we were sitting. It seemed pretty quiet.
But you said there were people that were talking and stuff, and just babies. Did you hear any babies? And would you consider people talking to be disruptive? What would you consider to be disruptive?
Yeah.
They're saying the meeting was disrupted.
Well,
I mean, that's the whole premise of this thing.
I'm gonna sustain the objection to the overly broad question. What
Okay.
would you consider a disruption? But
Did-
you can ask her specifically.
Okay, sure.
if She thought the meeting was disrupted.
Was there a point where the whole room stood up and turned their backs to the council?
Yes.
And when we sat down, is that when we were tapped on the shoulder to be arrested?
To my recollection, it was soon after that.
All right. And just to be clear, did you witness me ever say, "It's a lie"?
Not that I can remember.
Twice. How about "yeah" in a way that disrupted the meeting?
No.
Did you hear anyone say "yeah" to the point where it disrupted the meeting?
No.
How about "amen"? Did anyone say "amen" at one point?
Maybe Teresa, when she had her hands over her head, she may have said amen, but I did not hear it loudly enough. I mean, I was sitting from here to the gates right there, away from her and you.
Okay. And yeah, I think that's good.
Just one follow-up. You just characterized your distance from the defendant as from the witness stand to the gate. You would agree that you were closer to the defendant than you were to the stage, is that right?
For this.
I'm sorry, I phrased that question poorly. Let me rephrase. You were closer to the stage than the defendant was.
I was probably a few rows, 2 or 3 rows further, closer to the stage than they were.
Okay, so you were closer to the stage than the defendant.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Your answer confused me, so I just wanted
Okay.
to clarify. And are you aware, you can just tell me if you're not, but are you aware that there was videotapes being made by the executive council staff close to the stage?
I know that there were cameras to the left of me, filming it, yes.
And as a result of where you were and where Mr. Staples was and his cameras were, you would agree that the cameras were further, sorry, yeah, phrasing is very confusing, so let me try to clean it up so you can answer easily. You probably should have heard anything that the cameras heard, right? Based on how close.
I mean, speculation. She would have to know the specs of a freaking microphone and all that. Objection. She has no way of knowing any of that stuff. Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah, damn right it's fair.
All right, I have no further questions for you. Thank you.
What is going on? I was gonna try to show a video.
Sir, you requested breaks take place during the proceeding. You persisted wishing there to be breaks
Time is it?
taken because I can take a break now.
Take a 5-minute break.
You still want one?
Yeah, well, he's gonna, I don't know, what about, how do we handle this whole sequester thing?
All right.
What is it? Oh, I wanted to, the video. I
Oh,
wanna,
you want to show the video?
I wanna show the video. Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how to put on your case. 'cause it's-
No, well, I don't know how, do I set up my computer to that thing, or?
Well, that's a good question.
That's what I'm trying to get at, is,
Yeah.
and I'm not the technical, somebody gave me this a while ago, I'm not like, I don't even know, I have the stuff on my phone. So,
I don't know. I mean,
is there a way to, is that a smart TV?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's gotta be. Gotta have Bluetooth or screen something.
I submitted an affidavit to the judge
Okay.
that I witnessed a court officer witness tampering by going over your details in the side room over here, last time over here.
All right, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
And my video caught it too.
Some of those charges were put on after you were arrested, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I don't think that's really been properly addressed.
No.
So,
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's fine because they're charging me with saying, shut it down. Correct. And I'm being charged with saying, that's fine. They already know all this stuff. Shut it down. Shut it down. What do they testify to? I said it's a lie. It's a lie. Yeah. That's it. That's all they've testified to.
Do you want me to front with you now that I can't be a fucking witness? Or are you good?
Yeah, I'll ask the I should be fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
It's all right. Well, I didn't know either. The judge didn't say anything about, oh, people can't watch the video and all this shit. You know what I mean? And it's these fucking troopers are doing it. Look at him, he's getting on his phone. Got to check his texts. Got to tell the truth. Got to tell him what's going on. Got to do some more witness tampering. What?
Officer Provenza filed something against the Lori's list in September of 2021.
Ah.
And then arrested you, signed the
Oh, so he got his name off the Lori list. So you were on the Lori list. We got the proof right there.
No, do this.
Impeach his ass.
Bring it up to the judge.
Yep.
okay, That he lied about being on the lawyer list when he was on it.
No, he wasn't on it.
He wasn't on
They
it?
had the ability to petition the courts to keep their names off it. And
To
that's
keep their
what he
names
did
off
in
of it.
What did he
September.
do to- what
That's
did
what
he
he
do
did
to-
in September.
He helped cover up a freaking shooting. That's what he did.
What did he do that was going to get him on the lawyer list? What was it?
There was more than one incident.
Couple things.
The biggest incident was excessive force and erasing tapes.
Okay.
Erasing body.
So he's a disingenuous officer that has altered government documents and
Previously.
Surprise.
that caused.
Big surprise. Look at him on his phone violating the sequester order. Again, he don't care. You think this guy cares? No, he don't care.
I wonder how it feels to kill somebody.
Look at him.
And then you right.
Oh, really?
So you witnessed someone talking to another witness?
Again,
More witness tampering, right?
more witness tampering.
Unbelievable.
So,
You can sign an affidavit, get it notarized, and submit it to the court.
All I was testifying to was my video that they're using.
they're using her video. It's all right. We're gonna watch the whole video.
All we ask is that we
We're gonna watch the whole damn video so I can use it to jog my goddamn memory when I fucking testify up there. So that's gonna be 3 hours in and of itself. So you better believe we're coming back. This is gonna be a fucking 10-week trial. If I have anything to fucking do with it.
All rise, please.
Only the dead rise.
Please be seated.
Your Honor, there's another instance. So this guy lied on the stand.
Sir, Mr. Staples, can you wait until the prosecution?
The other guys are here? Sure. And we also have another incident of witness tampering. Right before DeLuca testified, he was talking to some of the other witnesses. And we have a witness of that. So your DeLuca was violating the sequester order, talking to some of the other witnesses while he was out there waiting to come testify. We have a witness of that. They're going to file another affidavit. Just saying. Well, you're making it such a big deal of the damn sequestration shit, and your people are the worst fucking violators.
Is there a motion? Can you?
The motion is to dismiss the fucking case for a violation of the goddamn sequester order. Repeated violations by these officers.
What's the alleged violation of the sequestration order?
This woman over here witnessed DeLuca talking to the other trooper witnesses right before he came in to testify. That's the violation. And then this guy again, when you left, he's on his phone again.
Well, there's no prohibition on witnesses speaking to other witnesses. There's a prohibition against witnesses discussing what went on in the court.
What's the difference? How do we know that they didn't say? So they're allowed to talk to each other, but nobody hears it.
Do you have any assertion that there was a violation of the sequestration order? Meaning that any witness
Did you hear anything specifically?
information about what
She didn't hear anything specific. He can swear to it because he actually did hear the stuff. He's the one that filed the affidavit. He actually heard things.
Believe me, believe my audio.
And exactly, he's got it all on video too. He was outside. I did see part of that. I didn't crank up the volume to hear it all because I really don't care what these fucking people are running their mouths about me in the back room there. They're all in there. And who was it? I think it was DeLuca standing guard out there when you came out there, and the other guys were in the thing. That was on Friday. So,
what's the specific allegation?
what's the specific allegation?
I heard court officers talking about this fact.
Hang on, please. Does the state take a position?
To the best of the state's knowledge, the witnesses who all know each other have had conversations with each other about how the day is going. There's no conversation. The witnesses are all professionals. They've been subject to sequestration orders before. They know they can't talk about the case while the case is ongoing. To the best of the state's knowledge,
I know.
they have not done so.
So actually, what was heard was court officers as well, and they were all discussing my criminal record and prison history and all kinds of stuff. Okay, it had nothing to do with how the day, the weather and all that stuff. It was actually talking about me and the fucking case, and it's on his audio.
All right, so we'll address this.
We'll address this for sure. This will be a post matter or whatever.
Conclusion of the testimony.
Sure.
But for right
What?
now, please comment on this.
Oh. Bruce Kelly?
You'll win appeals, sir.
Yeah, there's so many appealable issues on this thing. I don't even care. I'll do the 10 days. You find me guilty, I'll do the 10 days in jail. You think that shit's shit? I don't give a fuck. $150 a day? Fuck around and find out, bro. We'll do it 10 days, 20 days, a year. You want to send me back to prison? Let's do it. 5 years in solitary confinement, motherfucker. Yeah, you guys created me. This fucking system created me. From YDC, Sununu House, to the fucking prison and back.
When you get run down by prosecutors, stop wondering about the system.
Sir,
So,
Sir, I've admonished you once about making statements out loud during the course of this proceeding. You're not a party to this matter. I'm going to admonish you again to not make statements out loud during the course of this proceeding.
is he going to be arrested?
Would you please call your next witness?
I did.
Yeah, it's not here.
Oh. Is Claudine here? Claudine Burnham? I don't know if she's here either. I don't know if she was going to be able to make it. I didn't see her. Disrupting. Gonna get arrested. Not sure why you haven't been arrested yet. Got this little bootlicker back here. It's good.
Here's your next witness.
Okay. How about Ken
Irving?
Irving? I know he's here.
Ken?
I don't believe he watched the video either. I talked to him. So.
Sir, come right up here and take the witness stand, if you would. Watch your step for you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury? So help me God. Please have a seat. Please state your name for the record, spelling your last name.
Ken Eyring, E-Y-R-I-N-G.
Please inquire.
Mr. Iring?
Yes.
Mr. Iring, have you watched any of the videos of the first day of this trial? Have you spoken to any of the witnesses in this, that have already been called or have yet to be called in this trial about the trial itself? And has anyone instructed you how to answer the questions I just asked? Thank you.
Please proceed.
Ken, thank you for coming out here and supporting this situation. So, were you at the executive council meeting on October 13th?
Yes.
You were inside?
I was inside, yes, I was there from the very beginning, probably, I think it's about an hour before it even started, all the way through to the end.
Wow. All right. And describe the meeting for us. I don't want to leave. What can you tell us of that day and what happened?
Thank you.
Do it.
Thank you. Well, they limited the number of people that could enter the building.
Do you know to how many?
I believe it was
150?
150. The room, I found out afterwards, the room was actually cut in half by a petition. So there's plenty of room behind the divider, in order to have more people involved.
Were there people outside that couldn't get in?
Yes, there's quite a few people.
How many people approximately?
Uh,
Because they said they picked that location to accommodate all the people. So I'm throwing shade all over their case. When the State House Reps Hall holds over 400 people. This place allowed 150 in. So the point of it is to disprove their claims that they were trying to accommodate all the people that were there to attend the meeting for this big deal.
I see the larger point, but I don't understand how it's relevant to this proceeding.
What was the question again?
Sir, you were asked to describe what you witnessed.
Oh, yeah.
So, there were a lot of people there. We all sat down. It was extremely respectful, extremely quiet. I was shocked when the governor led the entire group of people in the Pledge of Allegiance. And when everybody said amen, his response was, that type of disorder will not be tolerated. I was shocked. The governor himself led us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Why did he admonish people?
You have to ask the governor, and I agree with you that you should have him subpoenaed I was a former chairman of the school board, and nothing happened in my meetings that was not prior to the meeting approved by me. There were, according to my pictures that I took, I think I showed at least 32 people in one single image. It's my understanding that there was close to 80 state troopers in the room at that time. When I say the room, I mean in front of the petition and behind the petition. And I think that is an abuse of power by our state, by the governor. Those people, that show of police force would never be allowed in any of my meetings, because we the people are the government, not the people up there serving us. I was appalled that at some
We're
point.
getting a little far field.
I was
You
appalled.
know, sir,
I
you're
was
being,
asked-
sir,
Hold on.
you're being asked about what you witnessed take place.
And he's telling it.
I am doing that, sir, from my perspective.
So you can't tell him how he can't answer the question. He's answering, I don't know what to say.
Well, there was an objection as to relevance.
The relevance is he's describing what he witnessed that day and his experience with other meetings and how it was different, so much different that day, and it was not a typical meeting as the state would like us to believe.
So if you could frame your inquiry by posing a question to the witness.
Sure, we'll see what we can do here. So, you don't know why you said Sununu made his admonishments exactly, but we were given a warning for some sort of disruption, correct? According to Sununu.
I'm hesitant to say we were given a warning at the beginning. He just said that that type of disruption would not be tolerated.
That type of disruption.
And I sat there along with everyone else in the room, quietly listening, respectfully. I couldn't hear anybody around me talking, not even whispering. And even if people were sitting there talking, and I'm describing what happened in the room, and even if people were talking quietly, it was not disruptive of the meeting. I sat behind a ribboned-off area, and the executive council and the governor and the people who came and testified had to be 50 to 70 feet away from me. At no point during the entire time I sat there do I recall the meeting ever stopping. The meeting was never, ever, ever disrupted. Never. Even when people were being arrested, even when people were being escorted out quietly, like you, Mr. Staples, and Therese Grinnell, who sat next to you, I did not hear anything from you, nothing. I don't even know if you spoke a word during the entire time I sat in that room. I am shocked and appalled by the way that our governor, executive council, and police. I am describing, sir, what I saw in that room, and you are stifling me
Your Honor.
and my right as a United States citizen to express what took place in that room.
Yeah. What are you going to say to that?
You asked your next question.
What do you mean? Did he say he didn't even object to anything? He just said, Your Honor. So what's the objection?
The objection was that this person was starting to offer opinion testimony and get all
Well, he needs to say that.
observation.
How do we know that? So now you're formulating objections for the state?
No, that's what the state's objection.
I didn't hear it. So
Mr. Staples, you just
I'm just saying. I'm working on it. So
May I finish the previous?
no, that he's there being a-holes. So we'll get to
I'm gonna ask what I saw.
right. I'm gonna continue. We're gonna continue. I'm gonna continue. I'm just trying to formulate my thoughts. So, you said that there were no disruptions. What about when, do you recall when the crowd was warned by someone else?
Yes, and I was gonna get to that, because there was a woman state I stood up. I think it was about an hour or so into the meeting, out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
Out of this, as I stated earlier.
So the meeting wasn't paused?
No, not that I recall. The woman stood up, maybe the woman stood up, and she said, any more disruptions? And then
What disruptions? What was she referring to?
I have no clue, because the entire time I sat in there, as I stated earlier, I didn't hear people talking, I didn't hear people making noises.
Was she not specific?
I don't recall her being specific, no.
So she didn't give any specific admonitions to the crowd exactly what she was referring to?
Correct.
And you said the meeting was not paused. And so, did you witness me and Therese being tapped on the shoulder?
No, I did not. I sat in front of you, but as soon as the troopers came and did that, it was clear something was going on. And
What did you see of that?
I turned and looked, and I was stunned to see you and Therese
Being taken. Was the meeting paused at any point right there?
No, I believe that the next disruption, and I'm using that as a word of, the people's ability to watch the meeting being disrupted. I believe that the next incidents was when you had let, from behind the curtain, you had let people know that you were being arrested. Two other people in the room began to ask why were they being arrested.
What happened to those people who asked why we're being arrested?
They too were arrested.
For what? Asking questions?
To my understanding and to my knowledge, they were not informed at the time as to why they were being arrested. But that's something that I don't have enough knowledge to answer that question.
Sure. Can we go to the video?
What can you answer?
The video that I have. I don't really know how to get it. I think that thing is a smart TV. Looks like it. So I should be able to connect to it and do like a screen share or something would be the easiest way. And then however I need to get the video to the state, I don't know what the process is on that to like get it onto a device or anything. I'm not a technical type of a person. I know I got all kinds of gear, but I suck with it too. So yeah, I want to be able to show the video. Maybe I'll do it. Can I do it during my testimony? And because I'm gonna need that to jog my memory.
And Your Honor, just so I can be clear, I know that Attorney Shepard has been examining these witnesses, but to the extent there's technical stuff, if we could assist him to get it so it could play, it would be assistance to the court. I don't necessarily have an objection to that, but we're finding out about it today. I'm certainly not a technical savant with respect to this, but if there's something innate in that and assistance to the court, we would be willing to do it.
Thank you so much. So you said that once we were taken, I was arrested or escorted behind the curtain. Did you say why? You don't know why we were escorted back there? Did you hear? You didn't hear a disturbance?
No, and further confusion is that there was a woman sitting 2 rows behind me, and I saw the state trooper who was standing just a few feet from me lean in, point to her, and say something along the lines of, "If you do that again, you're going to be arrested."
Do that again.
And I looked at the trooper, and I turned around, and I saw the woman behind me, and she was clearly silent. Again, I didn't hear anything or any noises from anybody. I was stunned that that type of warning would be given to anybody. I looked at her, and out of concern, I got up and I leaned over, and I walked back 2 rows.
I'm not sure what the relevance, excuse me, sir. I'm not sure what the relevance of this testimony is.
The wanton disregard for the Constitution. That's what it's about.
Mr. Sickles, I have not interrupted you.
Yeah, and you dragged me in here. Your Honor, if I may, the relevance is in the entire climate. We heard this gentleman testify the disturbances weren't caused by any of the people that were there in attendance. The disturbances were caused by the state police. Okay?
All right,
Thank you.
So I leaned over and I whispered to the woman, "What did you do?" And she sat there. I remember her. She wouldn't talk. She didn't want to say anything. She really made no noises at all. And I asked her 2 or 3 times, "What did you say? What did you do?" She wouldn't want to answer, and I realized, I was causing her distress. And I said, "Okay, I'm sorry." And as I was getting ready to back away, one of the troopers tapped me. Said something along the lines of, "Get your bag with us." And I was stunned. So I sat down, I watched her being escorted out, and found that to be deeply disturbing.
So you were talking to her, and we do have this on video. You're talking to her,
I did talk to her, but I talked, and she never responded.
and then next thing you know, she's getting arrested. Yeah. So this is all very important testimony, by the way, and I appreciate this so much. So you also said that once we were pulled behind, there was a disruption when I started to say I was being arrested.
Correct. I believe it was A.J. Todd who had said, "Why are they being arrested?"
Was the meeting paused at that point? Do you recall?
I do not recall at any time the meeting ever stopping. I believe the meeting continued all the way through from beginning to end.
All the way through. Okay. And
If you have the video, you can look at the video.
right, for sure.
I was standing,
sorry, sir, it wasn't.
Yeah, there wasn't. So let me think for a second here and then look at these complaints again and make sure I'm getting these elements all touched up recklessly. So would you call anything that I did reckless that day?
as I stated earlier, I did not hear or see you do or say anything. You were.
Until behind the curtain.
You were a model citizen.
Oh, thank you.
You were quiet, and if I didn't actually see you sitting there, I would have never known.
You wouldn't have believed it either, right? I do have a loud mouth. So, they're just completely different complaints than what I had originally, the two that I had originally, so it's just weird. So, let's see if anything jogs my memory here. Did you ever hear anyone say amen during the meeting?
The whole room said amen after we said, after the governor led us in prayer.
Okay. And that was, did,
I believe that was before or right after the presentation.
all right. And then after that, did you ever hear anyone say amen that, that you recall? No.
Like I said, the room was quiet for the vast part of the meeting. The only time I ever heard anybody is when I heard you very quietly, because I had to struggle
were being arrested.
But I did hear when NH9 got up and said, "Why are they being arrested?"
And then he was arrested.
He was arrested and his wife was arrested.
His wife was arrested. Was she carrying a baby? So they were arrested for asking why we were getting arrested? Interesting. Asked and answered. Relevance? Again, the conduct of the state police is obviously out of line. They're randomly arresting people, babies. They testified that they're so concerned about the babies and the children that were in attendance, right? So they're arresting mothers with babies. So, anyhow. And how about, do you recall a point in the meeting where it was stopped or disrupted because someone said, yeah?
Like I said, I don't remember anybody saying anything other than few instances that I pointed out. It was quiet.
You said people were talking amongst themselves?
No, I said even if they were, I didn't hear that.
Okay.
And even if they were, it was not disruptive to the meeting itself because they were so far away. They were.
Were we ever ordered to be silent, completely silent, and that we were not allowed to make any sounds or speak at all? Was the crowd ever told that they were not allowed to speak or make any noise whatsoever?
I don't remember those words.
Okay. Was the crowd ever told that they were not allowed to clap?
I don't remember that ever being.
Was the crowd ever told by anyone not to engage in any type of specific behavior, ever?
I do not remember any kind of demands along those lines as well. In fact, as I sat there and I've said this to people after the fact, it felt like Nazi Germany when people started taking money because there was no apparent reason for any of those people being removed from the room. And then when I heard they were arrested and charged, it's just very disruptive and disturbing that we live in the United States of America and that type of thing would happen here, and then you're even sitting here, Mr. Staples. I'm deeply disturbed. The fact that your charges have not been dismissed, and everybody else's is troubling to someone. And the people who are charging you and who are prosecuting you are looking for some kind of win, but they're not looking for justice, because justice is the motivation in a trial.
Thank you, sir. And I would agree with you. And even if they win, they lose. That's for sure. I think I'm done.
Mr. Irons, you testified that there was, well, I think it's fair to characterize your testimony as it was quiet enough to hear a pin drop in the room, other than the people that were on the podium speaking.
I didn't hear people talking. People were whispering, I didn't hear what they said. I didn't hear noises. I was never disrupted during the entire meeting.
Okay.
And the only time is when, things started to happen. And, obviously people were aware that there were people being arrested.
Where were you in relation to the rows? If the first row after the,
I sat in front of them.
I'll have the video. It's 10 minutes.
You would agree that if there is a video of this entire proceeding, that video is probably more accurate as to what happened that day than your independent recollection of it 2 years later?
No, sir, I will not agree with that.
Okay.
I was there. I know for a fact that there were no noises that disrupted that meeting.
Okay.
None. No people were out of line. There were no noises. There was no disruptions. I want to be clear about that.
Okay.
Video will not overrule or override my testimony today.
Okay. So if I suggested to you that.
The video will corroborate my testimony to show that there were no disruptions.
100%.
If I suggested to you that after the Pledge of Allegiance, there were people whooping and clapping, you would disagree with that?
No, I would not disagree with that. We sat down immediately after, as we were sitting, sir, and I urge you not to put things out of perspective in order to make a point. We're looking for justice here today.
So was there whooping and clapping or not?
There were people who, how do I put this? We clapped.
Okay, so,
We said.
so how you put it is, yes.
We are proud Americans.
We sung the Pledge of Allegiance.
And nobody should be charged for a crime for being proud of their country and pledging an oath to their country.
Hey, fucking men.
So then you would agree with me that there was whooping and clapping after the Pledge of Allegiance?
Leading.
There was clapping.
It's your witness, I'm allowed.
Sir.
I don't know that. I'm not a lawyer. Hey, relax, dude.
Watch the video. The video
Yeah.
tells you what.
Watch the video.
Sir, Mr. Staples, please, this is cross-examination. You're not free to just comment from the table.
Well, I mean, I didn't pass the bar. Okay? And I don't care about going to jail or none of that shit either, especially on this fucking bullshit. None of this shit should be happening right now. He knows it. You know it. This is all bullshit. They should be getting arrested, exactly.
Were you present for the mayor and council meeting that took place on September 3rd of 2021?
September 3rd? September 3rd? What is this about?
The one that was at Health and Human Services. Were you there for that? No.
DHHS, the
Were
vax
you
pass thing?
Were you present for the meeting that did not take place at St. Anselm, that was scheduled to take place at St. Anselm? No, okay.
That's good.
You heard Mr. Staples yell that he was being arrested and use some profanity from behind the curtain, right?
I don't remember any of that.
Okay.
But and as I testified earlier, I heard him say something, it sounded like he said we're being arrested. It was confirmed when AJ stood up and said, why are we being arrested?
Okay.
I'm not even sure that I knew what he said. He being Mr. Staples.
Okay. All right. I don't have any further questions.
Good.
Ron, I'd like to ask a question. It's clear that there have been, or at least it's apparent to me, that there have been some witnesses that have been prevented from testifying.
Sir,
I would like you to just guide me as to what I should or should not do in the event that Mr. Staples or anybody else wants to call me to
Yes.
testify. What should I prevent myself from doing so that I do not prevent my testimony in the future?
Good idea.
Standing sequestration order means that you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone who might be a witness in this proceeding.
Okay, so that means I should not sit in the audience here. I should leave the courtroom and wait for it to be over. Is that correct?
I'm not gonna give you legal advice.
Yeah.
If I sit in the courtroom, I will not be allowed to come back and testify. Okay, thanks.
Thanks for explaining the process clearly. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yep.
Your next witness.
Oh, my next witness. How about Jane Radale? Right. Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I think I said that. Like, oh, your recollection. Oh, so the officers can't even recollect anything anyways. They can't even recollect what the damn complaints are. Like, they said I said stuff that's not even in here. They testified to stuff that has nothing to do with the charges.
Matt, would you please approach the witness stand?
They were coached, exactly.
You swear or affirm that testimony given in this proceeding will be the truth and under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please have a seat. State your name for the record.
Shane Reno,
Spell your last name.
R-I-E-D-E-L.
Good afternoon, Ms. Riddle. Have you watched any of the videos taken of these proceedings from the first trial day?
From last Friday.
This trial started last week.
Oh, no.
Have you watched any of those
No,
videos?
I didn't even know it was last week.
Okay. Have you watched any of, there's apparently some video streaming of today. Have you watched any of that video?
Streaming of today?
Yes. Have you watched any of today's proceedings?
No.
Okay, thank you. Have you spoken to any of the prior witnesses about their testimony?
No.
And has anyone told you how to answer any of these questions or warned you that these questions were coming?
No.
Okay, thank you.
What questions are they?
They're trying to get me on some witness tampering shit like I'm a fucking dummy. God damn.
Mr. Staples, please go ahead.
Everybody. Oh, sorry. Thank you for coming out here and taking the time out of your day for this. Do you know why exactly you're here?
Sir.
Not really, like, what exactly?
What? So, do you remember that October 13th? Sorry, I don't know, man. I don't know how to do this stuff. Do you remember the executive council meeting where 9 people were all arrested, including myself?
I do. I remember it probably as clear as 911. I went there that day, because I did agree with money that was gonna be appropriated, so to speak. And I went there as an innocent citizen of the state of New Hampshire, along with, I'm sure, many other people. There were children there, people in front of me, they were like 80-year-old women. We went there, I'm sitting behind them, and, you know, we're chit-chatting and everything, and all of a sudden, it was, I don't know, probably like 10 minutes, we're there. And I went to move my chair because they were all real close to each other, and I'm, what? And I'm like, they have zip ties on the chairs, all zip tied together. And right then, when seeing all the state police there, I was like, I felt so uncomfortable, and I thought, oh my God, what's gonna happen here? I was actually fearful, I was scared. Because I thought I was going there to be part of, I guess, like, you know, to witness what was gonna, how they were gonna determine if they're gonna get the money or not. All of a sudden, it turned into a shit show. And I am so disappointed in the state of New Hampshire that when I felt I should feel protection by state police, and when I went there, I felt scared. And like I said, I remember this like
Your Honor,
it was
this is
911.
exceeding the scope of the question.
I didn't even ask a question. So, whatever. So, you said that the point, so what was the point of going to the meeting? What were they supposed to do that day?
They were supposed to appropriate like $27 million, or receive $27 million.
And how were they going to vote on that? Or,
Yes.
so they were going to vote on it, right? And so you were there to watch the vote on that specific one thing?
Yep.
And was it held in that location, do you know, because of the amount of people that were going to be there that they expected for that one bill? That
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea. All I know is they were only gonna allow a certain amount of people, and they said because codes, like, you know, building codes. or
Building
whatever,
codes.
there was only
Gotcha.
gonna be so many people, and I know that there were people that wanted to come in, but they wouldn't allow them in because they were, a number
Pass.
of people were supposed to be allowed in there.
Right, so there were people outside. How many people do you think were outside that were not allowed in?
I didn't see, so I can't, I don't know.
All right. And inside, was there, how many sections were there in there?
Well, there was like, the front was the executive council, then they had like a section for, like news, media.
How many people were in that news media
It
area?
was a big block, I mean, when you.
More than the,
That whole room and divided it up, there was a lot of room between the executive council and where the public were allowed. I was actually sitting right beside, I was on the edge, like against kind of the wall, there was like tables with state troopers along the wall. And I was right on the end seat, and I remember of like, you know, looking around and everything, and I see them. Again, as I was like looking at dismay of what was going on with all the troopers around and everything, I saw them sitting, texting, showing each other phone, and what, again, as soon as I saw the chair ties, my alert went off. Like, what's going on?
Something was
here
weird.
Became very observant.
what was weird exactly?
I saw them texting, and I thought, why would they be showing each other phone and texting while everything was going on? It didn't make sense to me.
So was there disturbances at any point in the meeting?
Well, when they had, after the national anthem or whatever was done, they came and said, oh, well, you can't raise your voice, this is a warning, you have to be quiet. And then.
Who said that?
It was
A woman.
a woman that came out.
What part of the meeting was that at?
It was before things kind of even started. Nothing started. It was like, all right, he was doing the national anthem, and then all of a sudden it was like, you know, that's when we got a warning. And people.
So why were people warned? Why were people warned? What did they say?
Because they felt that they were saying it too loudly.
Saying it too loudly?
Yes.
And then later on in the meeting, when the woman came and warned, what was she warning about? What was the disruption at that point?
It was just to keep it quiet, keep it down.
Keep it down.
And when
So,
I tell you could hear a pin drop in there, like everybody was totally quiet.
Mhm.
And that's what I was just like, what is going on here? It was just totally weird.
mhm. So, did you see when Teresa and I got arrested, or tapped on the shoulder and brought out back?
I didn't see the tap.
You didn't see. At what point did you see us, and did that situation become aware of you? That
I only saw like them standing beside you and both of you standing up and going back, and then that's when we.
what happened before that?
Nothing.
Nothing. There.
I didn't see nothing, like they was.
Did you hear anything that was loud or distracted? Did the meeting stop? Did anyone say anything?
Actually, the meeting, that was the other thing, with everything going on, the meeting still continued. It was a bizarre day, just bizarre.
Entrapment, maybe. So, we were taken aback, and then what did you hear anything?
Yes.
What did you hear?
I heard, we're being arrested. All of a sudden, everybody was like, what? And, you know, right away, everybody was like, that's wrong. You know, what's going on here? And the level of noise did go up.
Mm-hmm.
And the meeting kept going.
And the meeting kept going. Okay. And did you ever hear and notice a point in the meeting where someone said, yeah, or it's a lie that in the meeting was disrupted in any way?
No.
No. And how about shut it down prior to, because we know I said that behind the thing. I also said shut it down, correct? Did you ever hear anyone say shut it down, or did I say shut it down at any point in the meeting prior to the warning by Megan Walsh, the trooper? Okay, you didn't hear anyone say shut it down at all?
No.
All right.
Yes.
Behind the curtain.
Yes, but not prior.
Not prior to that, during the meeting. Okay. I think I'm good.
So, I'm sorry, are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Mr. Dunn, it's your testimony that the warning came before anything started?
The warning from the lady,
Yes.
well, we did the pledge of allegiance or whatever. I don't remember meetings. Well, actually, it would have been because they would have done it in the meeting, correct? So they have started the meeting. I don't remember that part. All I remember is a warning because we were too loud.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
Is it fair to say that if there was a videotape of the entire proceedings, it's probably a little bit more accurate than your memory from 2 years ago?
If I watched the video of it.
No. My question is, if a video of the entire proceedings exists and captures all 3+ hours of the meeting, you would agree that that is a more accurate representation of what happened than your independent memory of it some 2 years later?
Oh, I mean, it's on film, I would say, yeah.
Sure.
I agree with that.
Right, that's,
Right,
right.
right.
I have one follow-up.
You testified that you heard Mr. Staples shut it down.
And-
behind the curtain, right?
Didn't I object to that type of thing? Hold on, the whole video thing and the before on the last person before, I can't remember. What could be heard, right? And what if the video's doctored? All right.
All right, my next question. So you heard him say, shut it down for behind the curtain. So so that the record's clear, where were you in relation to the stage?
So, from stage.
Let me.
We already said that.
Which is better? Before Mr. Staples was arrested, were you behind him or in front of him?
I would have been probably at like, 11 o'clock.
Okay. So in front of him and to his left?
Yes.
Okay. And from where you were, which was closer to the stage than his previous position, about mid-range?
No, I would have been, so 11 o'clock, I would have been behind.
Oh, okay.
Further behind
Further back.
the stage.
Okay, thank you. It's your recollection.
Who are you texting?
It's your recollection that the meeting never stopped.
Dude's
at
texting.
any time.
Again.
I remember it, Owen even commenting like, wow, they're talking, how can they hear these people are like, what's going on and everything, and you look up there and they were like still like doing the meeting, and you're like, how could they hear anything, because it did get loud after the first arrest.
In addition to saying shut it down, did you hear Mr. Staples using profanity from behind the curtain?
I did.
You didn't?
I don't remember that, no.
Okay. Well, are you saying you don't remember what he said in addition to shut it down, or are you saying?
All I remember hearing is, shut it down, and then maybe, oh, we're being arrested, something like that, but, I mean, other than that, it's like,
You don't recall.
I don't recall anything else.
And you don't recall recall the governor at any point saying, we're gonna pause the proceedings.
I don't.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, you can
Thank you, Jane.
see. Next witness, sir?
Let's see here. Emily Phillips. Rep. Emily Phillips.
Sir, you want frequent breaks? Do you want a 5-minute break right now, or do you want to keep pushing through?
I think we should probably just go while I'm hot. I'll have to pee at the next break probably. We'll see how long this goes.
Hi. Yeah, can I just, what's your plan with the child?
The plan is, can you sit on my lap? He was there too, he was a witness.
Yeah, he's not on the list, but
He's not on the list.
So if I put him over there, I have no guarantee how he's gonna be, and I don't think he's gonna be comfortable leaving the room.
Well, can you just,
We can try,
do you have a trusted friend?
we can try, he is 1 year old.
how about have him sit in a chair or something?
So, my friend Margie, like, yes, I mean, like, his name's Teddy, everybody.
Hey, Teddy. Is it gonna be? Is this like? Is he gonna whisper secrets in her ear or something?
No, it's just not,
We can try,
common.
Oh. This is nothing about this is common.
Ma'am,
No, it's okay.
you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please ask. Ma'am, would you please state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Emily Phillips, Phillips.
I'm gonna ask you a couple of preliminary questions, and then Frank's gonna ask you questions. Okay. Have you watched any of the first day of this proceedings? This trial started last week.
No, I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched any of the videos related to them?
No.
Have you watched any videos or live streams or anything of today's proceedings?
No.
Have you spoken to any of the previous witnesses or any of the witnesses that might be called in this case about their testimony?
No.
And has anyone told you how to be answering these questions or warned you that these questions were coming?
These questions were what?
That these questions were coming?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Please proceed.
Thank you for coming today. This is a surprise. So, did you, can you tell us what happened that day on October 13th at the Executive Council meeting? This is the best of your recollection.
So I was there, with my child over there. So what I saw was, the executive council. Can I hold him? Like, I don't think he'll be disruptive, he's just sitting on my lap.
How many pictures of the child sitting on her lap?
Hey, mommy to the rescue, buddy.
Thank you, Yolanda.
And yeah, I truly appreciate you coming out here. Obviously, you have other things to do, better things to do. I'm sure. I don't even know how you heard about this, as I did not make announcements really. So, again, so where were we? The executive council meeting, and what happened, describe any disturbances that you witnessed, and yeah.
So, I mean, what I saw was a large presence of state troopers, in relatives, people in the public there. At some point, the state troopers, organized, kind of walked in between all the aisles, while we were all sitting there. I think at some point we were standing up, and they kind of filled the aisles, which was kind of odd. I was standing up because I had the baby in a baby carrier. And, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to breastfeed him. He's just very upset.
It's okay. You gotta do it. I can't see. I can't even see, so you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just telling the judge. So anyways, so the troopers came in and, stood in the aisles, and then I just kind of witnessed, them walk over to you, sir, and, asked you to come with them, and then, yourself and, Teresa Purnell, I believe, were carried out, or walked out back, and then I heard commotion out back saying they're arresting us. Maybe you said shut it down, something along those lines, and then they're arresting us, and then a lot of us in the audience were kind of like shocked what was going on. Meanwhile, the meeting was carrying on as if nothing was happening. It was odd to me to watch. The executive council meeting was still happening as if there wasn't shouting going on. And then a few moments later, I'm not sure how much I should talk, but a few moments later, I saw a bunch of people kind of get, I'm gonna say, plucked out, arrested, for, I don't know why. I don't know why it would happen, but I witnessed it, and it was just shocking, which is why I'm here to write in my day. I don't know what happened, but people got arrested. I want to say there were 9 people, get arrested. 2 of them might have said something. So as far as you, I don't know why you were arrested. I don't know why.
Do you remember a point where we were given a warning by Governor Sununu? Were you there for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I was there, yeah, I was there the whole time. So, I think it was just I don't remember what the wording was, but we need to behave or we need to be quiet. I think that was something that was said to all of us. I did walk out a couple times to the bathroom, so I might have missed if there was an actual warning. I don't know.
Okay. And do you remember a point where a state trooper came out and warned the crowd in general? He actually kind of stepped out and warned the crowd.
I don't remember that. No.
Okay. Where were you in there?
So if you were facing the executive council, I was to the far left where the press was. I was, like I said, I was standing. I had my sister-in-law there.
Oh, okay.
Baby.
So you were in that cordoned off area?
No, I was with the public.
Oh.
Far left, instead of sitting down.
Yep.
I was standing up because I was kind of like rocking a baby. I chose not to sit down because he was like 5 months old.
Gotcha.
So I was standing up, right by where all the press, the next section next to the press. I was still in the public area.
All right. And do you remember a point where everyone stood up and turned their backs to?
Yes. So this was right before, yes.
So everyone stood up and turned their backs to the executive council. What point of the meeting was that?
What were they speaking
Like,
about?
yeah.
I think that's what.
Everyone was there for?
We turned our back when they started talking about, vaccinating kids in schools or something. That,
Oh, yeah.
I think that stood out to me as we were all disgusted that they were going to be pushing this on kids. I mean, that's why I turned around.
Do you remember a point where someone said, "It's a lie, it's a